Hey, hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Aili Bhattacharya, your study buddy. And yes, I'm so glad that you are here for the next linear algebra class. If you have been following along, we have already understood what subspaces are, and today we are going to level up with some more important problem solving questions. Okay, see, in the previous class, we also did some problem solving, and today we are going to continue and complete the subspace part. Okay, so yes, grab your pen and notebook because things are about to get interesting. Now let's start with we will continue from where we left off. We have done three questions and we'll start from the fourth question today. Okay, is the board visible? Yes. So let me start with the fourth number of question. Yes, what is the fourth question? Here we will have a subspace, okay? We are given a set S in R3 and we have a defined equation for it. And we need to check if this is a subspace or not, okay? Let me write the question. S is equals to XYZ belongs to R3, as I said, with the defining condition 2x plus 3y plus 9z is equals to 0. All right, so this is defined by this equation. This set is defined by this equation. Now, what is our step one? Our first rule is to always check the zero vector, right? So, first you need to write like this solution. Let theta is equals to 0, 0, 0 be the null element of R3. All right. So the first rule is to always check the zero vector. Then you need to put the 0, 0, 0, which is the XYZ in this equation. All right. So if you put it like write it like this, checking the condition. Yes, after checking the condition, you see that 2 into 0, like putting this XYZ to be 0, right? So 2 into 0 plus 3 into 0 plus 9 into 0 is also equals to 0, right? So this is perfect. Then zero vector belongs to 0 s, right? So what is the step number 2? Step number 2 is to the closure under addition. That was the second property, right? So yes, now take you have to take two vectors like alpha and beta in s. And how are you going to write it? Let me show it. And for this also, for the first part also, this part is not complete. You have to write the following steps also. And I'm going to show it for the first time because I've already shown it in the first video, right? The previous video. But also I'm showing it here. See, you have to write like this. Therefore, theta is equals to 0 comma 0 comma 0, which belongs to s. Like whatever you're saying, you have to write that so that the teacher can understand that you are understanding that this is zero vector and this belongs to s. All right. Okay, coming to this. So the null element of the vector space R3 belongs to S. Okay, you are going to write like this. Now see, therefore, S is a non-empty subset of R3. We can say that since zero vector is belonging to us, and we can say that it is not a non-empty subset. This is not an empty subset. This is we have something in there. Okay, so yes. Now we will come to the next step of the closure under addition. Now I'm writing it like we are, as I said that we have to take now two vectors alpha and beta in S, right? So let me write it. Let alpha is equals to x1 y1. I'm sorry, this is 1 x1 y1 z1. Okay, and we are defining this condition just like as we have been given in the question. All right, now let me write it. Yes, so 2x1 plus 3y1 plus 9z1 will be equals to 0. We are defining this condition, okay? Now the next condition, now for the next vector beta, let beta is equals to x2 comma y2 comma z2, and we are also defining the condition for this beta vector also. Yes, so it will be 2x2 plus 3y2 plus 9z2 is equals to 0. And this is our equation number 2. This is a condition number 2 or equation number 2, whatever you say. Okay. Now see, we are going to add these vectors. We are going to add alpha plus beta. All right. Now if you add it, what do you get? Now alpha plus beta, you get what? You need to first add the first components, like the first term, right? x1 plus x2, then y1 plus y2, and the third term will be z1 plus z2. All right. Now let me write it. x1 plus x2, comma y1 plus y2, comma z1 plus z2. This is our condition, right? This is our statement which we get. This is our terms which we get by adding these two vectors. Now see, after we get this vector, we have to check the condition also. If this condition is true for this vector also, if it is true, then we can say that this is closed under addition. This vector is closed under addition. Now see, now write it like this. Now we check whether this vector satisfies the defining condition of S. The defining condition of S. Now, if we are checking the condition, then we have to write it like this. So, 2 into x1 plus x2 plus 3 into y1 plus y2 plus 9 into z1 plus z2. Now, what do we get? If we get 0, then this still satisfies the condition. Then we can say that so closure under addition holds, right? So, let me see. This was the defining condition, as you can see for the question given. See, this is the condition. So, yes, now we are just opening up the brackets. Let us see what we get. 2x1 plus 2x2 plus 3y1 plus 3y2 plus 9z1 plus 9z2. All right. Now see, I'm doing something else. I'm now grouping the few terms together. See how am I grouping? We are grouping this x1, this y1, and the z1 in one group, and another group will be of consisting of x2, y2 and z2. Okay, now if I am grouping like this, then you can see that we are getting something very beautiful, and from the condition above we mentioned, we can see that this will be 0. Now let us see how am I saying this. Let me group it. 2x1 plus 3y1 plus 9z1, this is one group, and another group is 2x2 plus 3y2 plus 9z2. Okay. Now you can see from condition 1 we can see that 2x1 plus 3y1 plus 9z1 is equals to 0, and from condition 2 we can see that 2x2 plus 3y2 plus 9z2 is equals to 0, right? So from here we can say that from condition 1 and 2, from condition 1 and 2 we get 0 plus 0. All right. So it will be 0, right? Only 0 plus 0 is 0. So basically from condition 1 and 2 we get that this satisfies the equation, and the first property holds, the closure under addition property holds. Now we will come to the next property, which is closure under scalar multiplication, right? So for this scalar multiplication, what do? We take any scalar c, right, and we then multiply that c with the vector, with any of the vector. Let us say that we will multiply it with the vector alpha. Then what we do, we multiply the scalar with the vector, and then we see that if this comes to be 0, then this will work perfectly. Then we can say that all three conditions are satisfied, so S is a subspace of R3. All right. So let us check if the third condition also holds, which is the closure under scalar multiplication. All right. Now let us see that. On for the first part here, you can also write like this: alpha plus beta will belong to S. So closure under addition holds. So you're writing it and mentioning that you have proved it, that this condition holds. Now coming to the next part. All right. Now see, let C will belong to F which is equals to r here. Okay, see, the scalar is taken always from the field, right? So that is why I have written c is belonging from f. Okay, and alpha belongs to s, right? And we have defined to be, let me write, where alpha is equals to x1 comma y1 comma z1, which belongs to s, as I have already said. Okay, now see, then now what did I say? We will multiply the scalar with the vector c. Then c into alpha is equals to c into x1 into y1 in comma z1. Sorry, x1 comma y1 comma z1. Okay, so if you now open the bracket and just simply multiply it, what do you get? Cx1 comma cy1 comma cz1. Now this is what you get after multiplying. Now you have to see that if this thing checks the condition, you have to see that whether this condition holds for this part also. This is the given condition, right? So you have to check for that as well. Now coming to that, how you gonna check? You need to write first, checking the condition, checking the condition. The condition is what? 2 into x, 2x plus 3y, 2x plus 3y plus 9z, right? Now let me write it. 2 into cx1 plus 3 into cy1 plus 9 into cz1. Okay, now from here you can see that these three, in these three terms only we have the c in common. Now if we take out the c, which means that if I factor out c, then what are we left with? We are left with c into 2x1 plus 3y1 plus 9z1. Now from condition 1, which we have already defined, that 2x1 plus 3y1 plus 9z1 is equals to 0, then we can say that c into 0 is equals to 0. Now as I said, then this property is also holding and we can say that this works perfectly. Okay, now from here we can say that all the three conditions are satisfied, so S is a subspace of R3. Now you have to also write that part like so. C into alpha belongs to S, hence S is a subspace of R3. All right. Now the first question is done for today's class. Now coming to the second question, or the fifth question, which is in order, right? Now coming to the fifth question. See, for the fifth question also, here we will be given a set. Okay, now we have to prove that if this is a subspace or not. Okay, now this one is a nice question, and this is a this is a kind of a tricky part, and I will tell you something very much identifiable for this type of questions. Okay, now see, let S is equals to x y z belongs to R3. And what is the given condition here? Given condition here is a little change. Okay, see, 2x plus 3y plus, just say z. Okay, z is equals to 1. Okay, now see here, now this one just looks very familiar with the previous question, right? But you should not get fooled. Okay, now see, in the step 1, if we put the zero vector, like if we put the null element here in terms of xyz, if we put xyz to be 0, then you see what do we get. Like, I'm writing this in short. Okay, 2 into 0 plus 3 into 0 plus 0 is equals to 0, right? But here in the given condition it is given 1, so this 0 vector is not in S. This basically means that the 0 vector, which is a theta we are considering, is not in S, right? And that's enough. If the 0 vector fails, we immediately stop. So this is not a subspace. Now see, the quick tip which I was about to tell, that is, if the equation equals a non-zero constant like 1, as I've given here, or like 5, like etc., it's usually not a subspace. Usually not. Okay, you have to check it further also, but it's usually, for our level, this is not a subspace. Okay, so how will you write it? How will you write this kind of question in the exam? Let me give the proper solution for this kind of questions. Yes, so solution will be first you need to let the first you need to let the theta to be the null element of R3, right? So yes, let me write that. Let theta is equals to 0 comma 0 comma 0 be the null element of R3. And for this type of question, just so you know that just so you have to show to your teacher that we already know the three properties of subspace, just write it like that. To be a subspace, to be a subspace, three conditions must hold, right? So what are the three conditions? The first condition is of the zero vector, write it. Zero vector must belong to S. Zero vector must belong to S. And next is closed under addition. Closed. Closed under vector addition, you must say, okay? Closed under vector addition. And the third is closed under scalar multiplication. All right? Closed under scalar multiplication. Now see, if we check the condition here, then what do we get? As I've written, checking the condition, checking the condition. As I've already shown you that this will be 2 into 0 plus 3 into 0 plus 0 is equals to 0 and is not equals to 1, right? And you just show it in a proper step here. So then you will write that so theta, which is equals to 0 comma 0 comma 0, will not belong to S, and hence we can say therefore S is not a subspace of R3. So is this very clear? This kind of problem will come in your exam, so you have to be very careful with what is there in the constant. If it is a non-zero constant, then you can directly identify it. If you just you need to show it like this, that this will be equals to 0 and not 1 or any non-constant number. So you can say that non-zero number, okay? Now coming to the question number 6, okay? Question number 6. Now, see, question number in 6, we will have a question with non-linear type. Okay, let us see what we have. Let S is equals to x comma y comma z, which belongs to R3, with the defining condition. In the defining condition is a little bit different here. See, x square plus y square is equals to z square. All right. Now see, this kind of looks like a Pythagoras type condition, and it's very interesting because in the first step you will see that the zero vector will hold. Okay, as you can see that if we put here x to be 0, then it will be 0 square, and y to be 0, then it will be 0 square, right? So 0 square plus 0 square is equals to 0 square, which is the z here is also 0, right? So z is also 0, so 0 square is equals to 0. So basically what am I saying is, if you just try to see it mentally, see, this will be 0 square, this is again 0 square, and this is also 0 square. So basically this is 0 plus 0 is equals to 0. So the first condition, which is the 0 vector, this holds. Now when we step up, we do the closure and the addition, and we take two vectors in S, then we will see. Acha, we will see what will happen. Okay. Now let me write it from the first. Like how should you write it? See, first you will write let theta is equals to 0 comma 0 comma 0 be the null element of R3. And if we check the condition, we got what? 0 square plus 0 square is equals to 0 square, which basically means 0 plus 0 is equals to 0. So this condition holds. Therefore, theta is equals to 0 comma 0 comma 0 belongs to S, and therefore S is a non-empty subset of R3. Therefore, S is a non-empty subset of R3. Okay, now we will come to the next step, which is the step 2 of closure under addition. We have to take two vectors in S. Now let us say that we take the vectors alpha and beta. All right, now see, let alpha is equals to x1 comma y1 comma z1. So, and we will define this condition same way as it is given here. Okay, that will be x1 square plus y1 square is equals to z1 square. All right, now see, so x1 square plus y1 square is equals to z1 square, and this is our condition number 1. Now coming to let beta be, let beta be x2 comma y2 comma z2. So, and we will define the condition the same way, like x2 square plus y2 square is equals to z2 square, and this is our condition number 2. Now what we will do next, the next step will be, we have to add these two vectors, right, to show if this is in closure under addition or not. Now adding the two vectors, now alpha plus beta, we get what, x1 plus x2 comma y1 plus y2 comma z1 plus z2. Now let me write it, x1 plus x2 y1 plus y2 comma z1 plus z2, right? This is what we get after adding these two vectors. Now see, we have to check the condition. Okay, checking this condition, if this new vector satisfies the first given condition as in this part. Okay, now let me check that. Now we check if this new vector, if this new vector satisfies the defining condition of S, the defining condition of S. Okay, so let us see if it does. Now then it will be what, x1 plus y1, sorry, x1 plus x2 whole squared plus y1 plus y2 whole squared is equals to, we have to write it, and we have to check whether it comes to be z1 plus z2 whole square. Okay, we have to check this, we are not assuming this part. Okay, so let us see what do we get here. Let us see. First, let us open the brackets. Let us open the bracket by the formula of a plus b whole square. Okay, so x1 square plus x2 square plus 2x1 dot x2, right? And for this part will be y1 square plus y2 square plus 2 into y1 into y2. All right, now see, if we now group the elements again, let us see how we are grouping it. See, this will be equals to, not implications. Okay, this is not the equations we are solving, this is just one equation which we are trying to get something. Okay, so let us group this to be x1 square plus y1 square, this one and this one, plus x2 square, sorry, x2 square plus y2 square, then z1 square plus, no z1 is there, sorry, 2 into x1 plus 2 into y1 into y2, 2 into, let me write it like this, x1 into x2 plus y1 into y2. Okay, so basically here we get what, we get this kind of a formula, right? Now you can see that this formula is basically what, now here according to equation 1, you see what is the equation 1, equation 1 is x1 square plus y1 square is equals to z1 square, right? And x2 square plus y2 square is equals to z2 square. Now you can see that x1 plus x1 square plus y1 square is equals to what, z1 square, right? I'm sorry, yes, z1 square, and x2 square plus y2 square is again z2 square. But we are again left with this term 2 into x1 into x2 plus y1 into y2, right? But this is not given in the condition. The condition is only z1 square plus z2 square, right? So but in the what we are getting here actually, in the left hand side we are getting z1 square plus z2 square plus 2 into x1 x2 plus y1 y2, right? But in the in the z1 plus z2 square we should get only, in the right hand side we should only get z1 square plus z2 square, right? Now these are not equal in general, so we will say that this is the RHS. RHS should be what? Z1 plus Z2 whole squared. This will be what? Z1 squared plus Z2 squared plus 2 into Z1 into Z2. And this was the left hand side, and the right hand side is this part. Now we can say that left hand side and right hand side are not equal. So this will basically be, therefore, LHS is not equals to RHS. So basically, this is not closed under addition, therefore this will imply that this is not a subspace, right? So ours, in this condition, in this question, we get that from just by solving the first part, which is the, we have to check all the conditions of the subspace, okay? Not only the zero vector, not only closed under addition, we have to also check every three property, okay? So we can see that in the second property, this is not holding. So we can say that S is not a subspace of R3. Therefore, S is not a subspace of R3. Okay. Now see, if I am just taking an example, see if you can also prove this with a counter example. Okay. The counter example can be, as you can see here, you can take alpha, no, not here, let me write it. Take alpha to be 0 comma 1 comma 1 and beta to be 1 comma 0 comma 1. Here you can see this both satisfy the condition, but alpha plus beta, if you do, then what do you get? 0 plus 1 is 1, 1 plus 0 is 1, and 1 plus 1 is 2, right? Now if you check that 1 square plus 1 square is equals to 2, but 2 square is not is equals to 4, but 2 is not equals to 4, right? So basically you can say that also with a counter example you can prove that this question is not holding, like this subset is not a subspace of R3. All right. So yes, now coming to our last question of today's class, we will do another question on this subspace only. So let me start with it. Question number 7. Okay. Now question number 7 will also be on a non-linear condition only. Okay. Let us see. Let S is equals to x comma y comma z, which belongs to R3, and our condition is xy is equals to z. All right. Now this is, yes, as I said, another nonlinear condition. And if you see the step 1, the zero vector, this will hold true, right? Because if x and y and z are all 0, then this also holds true. For example, I'm just writing it short, 0 into 0 is equals to 0, right? So step 1, the zero vector is there. So we can say that S is a non-empty subset of R3. Therefore, S, we can see that the first condition holds. Now coming to the second condition, where I'm not writing again everything about the first condition, okay? So as I've written every time, you can understand that how to write it, and even I will upload the notes from there also, you can copy it, okay? So now I'm writing for the second condition, which is let alpha is equals to x1 y1 comma z1. So now we are defining it the same way as it is given in the condition, in the question, right? So x1 into y1 is equals to z1. This is the first condition. Now coming to the next vector, which is beta. Beta is equals to x2 comma y2 comma z2. So x2 into y2 is equals to z2. So this will be your second equation. Now you have to see that you have to first add these two vectors, right? Now if you add these two vectors, what do you get? Alpha plus beta is equals to x1 plus x2, y1 plus y2, z1 plus z2. If you add these two vectors, you get this. Now you have to check the condition of this, if this satisfies the defining condition of S. Now see, checking the condition. checking the condition. What is the LHS part? LHS part is x1 plus x2 and y1 plus y2 will be what? It should be what? Z1 plus Z2, right? So basically, this is coming what? If you multiply it simply by opening the bracket, you get what? X1 y1 plus x1 y2 plus x2 y1 plus x2 y2. Now we already know what is x1 y1, it is z1, and what is x2 y2, it is z2. Now if we see, if you write it like this, z1 plus z2 plus x1 y2 plus x2 y1. So basically this is not equals to z1 plus z2, right? So this is coming like z1 plus z2 plus few extra terms, but RHS should only be z1 plus z2. Those extra terms like ruin everything. So this condition is also not holding, so not closed under addition. This will imply that this is not a subspace. Okay, now I'm writing that therefore LHS is not equals to RHS. Therefore S is not a subspace of R3. Now, see, for these questions, we have previously done questions on, we are proving that this will be a subspace and this will not be a subspace. We did very few questions on this will not be a subspace, right? So, for the last few questions, I've just kept that. So, it will be very clear if when it is not a subspace and when it is a subspace. So, let us first do a little bit of recap from what we did. Yes, coming to the fourth number of question. For the fourth number of question, what was the condition? It is 2x plus 3y plus 9z is equals to 0. And was that a subspace? It was a subspace, right? So now coming, and this is how we did the working. And for question number 5, it is 2x plus 3y plus z. This was the condition is equals to 1. Was that a subspace? It was not a subspace, right? And coming to question number 6, the condition is x square plus y square is equals to z square. If this is a subspace, no, this is also not a subspace. Now coming to the last question of today's class. Yes, this one, which is the condition is xy is equals to z, and if this is a subspace, this is also not a subspace. So, what is the key takeaway from today's class? What did you learn from today's class? In today's class, we learned that homogeneous linear equation, which is equals to 0, is usually a subspace. This is the first takeaway which we got. And the second thing is non-zero constant, like if it is equals to a non-zero constant like 1, 5, 7, 8, anything, this will be immediate no, because if you just put the terms, put the xyz to be 0, then it can never be 1 or any non-zero constant, right? So that is the second thing which we learned today. The third thing is when we see a non-linear condition, for the sixth and seventh question, we saw that they are non-linear condition, right? So if you see a non-linear condition, you have to be very careful and you need to test the closure property very carefully. All right. So yes, that is all for today's class, and we did the recap for today's session. If this video helped you, don't forget to like and subscribe and share with your friends. And yes, of course, tell me in the comment section if you have any problem or any question which confused you. And yes, I will always be available to respond to you. And yes, see you in the next one. Bye bye. Thank you for watching.